Y'all waiting on me? Hey, my loves. Today's Hump Day Hot Topic is about the importance of not being too much of anything in one group. Now, I've had this discussion previously on my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys go over there, follow, like, and subscribe. But on my YouTube channel, I went into more in depth on the overall general basis of how when you're too much of anything in one social circle, it's dangerous. And to summarize up and paraphrase why I say that is because when you're in a space where you're the only of something, one, you're not surrounded by people in which you need to be surrounded by if you want to level up your life and carry onward with your life. But there's also a huge room for envy, jealousy, and any other forms of things that go from admiration to hate to fester too quickly for you to be able to handle it. Or also, there will be conversations had with people of like-mindedness that are not where you are at, that are about you and where you are positioned compared to them. Now, as we continue to talk about this Nolan Wells situation, a huge topic that's come up in discussion is about how you should not be the only black friend in a group surrounded by white people. And with that being the case, plenty of black people are now posting their story about how they were the only black kid around a bunch of white people and this, that, to the next. And I'm not trying to take away from or disenfranchise their experience, but let's stick to the facts of things in which I feel we need to be teaching our children, especially as black people. And I mean that as well for other people of color, but especially for black people, because oftentimes a lot of people want to make themselves adjacent to black culture or have a say-so in black culture, but when it comes to being black and dealing with real issues that are being had, it's very much a silence that is around the current issues that are happening. And I say that to say Nolan Wells is also part Asian. I do not see any Asian part of the communities speaking out or allying themselves to say, hey, what did happen to this child? So for the people who are like, why are black people going so hard? Because we're the only one that are going to speak about it and keep bringing it up in subject. For white people, it's not going to be the same thing, because for them, it's just, oh my God, here's another story, right? And for them, that's because they don't live in the reality of space where they want to openly admit to the things in which they did or the harm in which they can cause by being very nonchalant about a situation in the belief that it's just another situation or another coincidence. And I'm not saying that this particular situation has to do everything with race, but race is a huge benefactor when it comes to situations like this, because one thing we know as black people is that no one is going to save us. We have to save ourselves. And when I say we have to save ourselves, I mean that in every instance, every ounce, in every space, whether it be at the job, whether it be among groups of friends, or even just anything that you do, you have to keep your head on a swivel. And it's nice to imagine a world that we live in where everyone can be themselves and let's just all keep being positive. But that's not the case. That has not been the case for a long time. And if you think the world is going to change or shift its ways simply because you want it to stop, I'm sorry to tell you this, but that's a Disney dream that is not coming true. And I keep hearing people say, oh, you should be aware of your friends anywhere. Yes, that is completely true. You should always be aware of who you're around and definitely taking heed of what is happening and going on around you. But the difference between being in a situation, and I'm also tired of hearing black on black crime happens too, right? And when you guys say that, what I'm hearing is niggas kill niggas, so why can't we? It's never giving, oh, this is a good argument. So I don't want to hear that. But the reason that separates black on black crime from white on black crime, and it's very heavy and important that we realize and notarize this, is that when we talk about black on black crime, 9 out of 10, it has something to do with environmental factors, whether it be financially, socially, mentally, or even emotionally, that cause or lead to the death of someone else who is of the same likeness as you. There's a huge gap and shift between these things that can happen to you in a black on black crime versus a white on black crime where the whole reasoning and motive is just because I know I can get away with it, just because I want this to happen, just because it feels good to harm black people. There's those things that are still heavy and benefactor into what happens today. We've seen it with Emmett Till. We've seen Dahmer get away with killing tons and tons of black boys on top of men of color simply because the world does not care or shed a tear or turn a serious eye to when something happens to a black man, whether it be rape, whether it be murder, whether it be going missing. So when it comes to speaking on things as a community, it is important that we do say and notice that race is a huge factor, because it's going to play in how these cops, our government officials handle the case. It's also going to benefit how much we see the people respond. I've seen a bunch of black people on my newsfeed talking about Nolan Wells. How many white people have you seen speaking about Nolan Wells? But how many can you say you will see in a heartbeat drop everything that they're doing to say not everything is about race, as long as you are living in America? The same America that built these racist systems that are working, colorist systems that are working, redlining and financial disparaging systems that are still working, race will always be a factor. Every single thing in this country leads back to race. So I don't want to hear in 2026 we changed. If we changed so much, our president wouldn't look how he looks right now. So when y'all come out with this, oh, y'all shouldn't, it's giving bullshit. It's giving bullshit. And I need people to start really thinking and evaluating, what benefits do you get from being in proximity to whiteness? Because I feel like a lot of these black kids who only have white friends are in these spaces because their family members believe, their parents especially, that the goal of, moving out of the hood and moving to the suburbs or putting your kids in these spaces in levels of proximity to white makes their life somehow better. There's kids that are being raised in the suburbs right now who are black, who are going to go on and commit a lifetime of crime. We just seen that happen with that boy down in Florida who just got sentenced from the Julio Fulio case. Because there's a double standard of, I need to live up to this personification that they put on black people, especially through white lenses when they're in these white spaces. Of, oh, you're black, so you should be tough, you should be stronger, you shouldn't have to deal with these things. And they dismantle that and take it away from the situations that they're faced with every day in the real world, like police brutality, going missing, being raped, and how people turn a blind eye to when a black man cries or makes a joke out of it. Like everyone does with Tyrese all the time. You guys reshare that meme all the time. And that man was legit having a mental breakdown over his child. So they dismantle and they push away from that. And I also feel like you're putting your child in these spaces where they say violence isn't tolerated. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to suck to hear. It's going to suck to hear for white people who don't want to hear this, but the ones who understand and are where they need to be at in life will understand this. The most violent group in history is Caucasian people. The most violent group in history. I'm talking about wiping people off the face of the earth. I'm talking about genocide, is white people. So when your black child is growing up in these spaces where violence will not be tolerated in levels of white proximity, because they love to do that in them suburban schools of, oh, violence will not be tolerated. Meanwhile, you got kids bullying other kids up the asshole, sending out crazy text messages, harming their mental health, and any act of violence is considered extremely punishable. That, to me, is not helping or benefiting your child in the real world, and is raising a black child who will be easy to manipulate, harm, and conform to dealing with dangerous situations that involve white people. I don't know about you, but I don't even think that those zero tolerance for violence kinds of schools in suburbs make sense. Because in the real world, you do something crazy to somebody, you're going to deal with a consequence. If you got children walking around feeling untouchable with the belief that they can talk to people any old kind of way, mistreat anybody any kind of way, and never have to deal with any level of consequence or harm, you're creating a system of bullies. You're creating a system of soft bullies. And I'm not saying that it's right to always handle things with violence on the other end, but to understand that you do something weird, you're gonna get you some motherfucking act right, it should be normal. You put your hands on somebody, you're gonna get your ass beat, that should be normal. Self-defense is a law. And I'm only saying that because this is the behavior of what's happening in these everyday schools, in these suburban schools. And they will make it out to be that somehow this is his own fault. Especially with that white and proud group going around currently before all this popped off. It just showcases more and more how everything is about race. That white and proud group is weird. And I'm glad we got in there and was making jokes about it, but it speaks volumes. When black people make black and proud groups, and there's nothing wrong with being proud of your heritage, it's about what you do with it when you get the platform. These people are getting the platform and are sitting up over there being racist, talking about white people. When we get our platforms, we're posting music, we're posting our culture. They can't post their culture because their culture is stolen. Everything they got is stolen. Which leads back to what? How everything still is about race. When we talk about desegregation benefited white people, especially white women, way more than black people. That's another conversation for another time that you guys will not be able to understand or handle. But if you are currently the parent to a child who is the only black kid in this said area, it's not an accomplishment. And you are actually putting your child in a situation that can be detrimental to them physically and mentally in the end. So with that, I want you guys to enjoy your Wednesday and enjoy your hot topic hump day. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, and I hope you guys are looking forward to new episodes that are coming this weekend on my YouTube channel. On Safe Space with Sapphire. As always, stay beautiful, stay blessed. Mwah. Y'all waiting on me? Uh-huh.